Well, hello there. Welcome to the Obi Foreign Alliance. In today's video, I'll be talking about Netflix versus Amazon Prime and the difference and the positives. And the first topic is going to be about pricing. And pricing is different for Netflix and Amazon. For Netflix, there's three versions of Netflix. The first one, I believe, is in Australian is $8.99. That is just for the normal one without HD or anything like that. And then the next one is $12, and that's for three people in HD that can watch and things like that. And then the next one, what's around $18 or $20, that's the premium. That's 4 people, and more people can use on multiple devices, and that's decently expensive compared to Amazon. That's only $6 Australian, and you get Amazon orders with you get to order things, you get to use their audiobooks and things like that. So when it comes to pricing, I think Amazon is more bang for your buck when it comes to pricing. The next the topic between Netflix and Amazon is budget, how much they spend on shows. And Netflix has spent a whopping $17 billion, and that's on their originals, Netflix originals like Stranger Things and Ozarks as an example, and also acquiring non-exclusives, like they just acquired Friends and The Big Bang Theory. So that's quite a lot of money. Is it smart to spend that much money? Well, I guess because Netflix is on the top, to stay on the top, you got to spend that much money. But is it sustainable to spend that much money? I don't know. But compared to Amazon, that spent around six billion dollars, you know. They're just creating interesting shows and not really spending as much as Netflix, and they just recently acquired a Lord of the Rings, so they're kind of going as a steady pace when Netflix are trying to stay as the king of the streaming service. In this section, I want to compare what the streaming services have made. Netflix have 160 million subscribers and have made $20 billion. Have 150 million subscribers and have made $2 billion, but don't let this fool you, because they haven't spent as much money as Netflix have. So it's quite interesting that they have different attitudes when it comes to the streaming war. In the next discussion, we'll be talking about content between Netflix and Amazon. Surprisingly, Netflix has less content with 7,000 and Amazon has 20,000, but that's because Amazon has more movies that aren't exclusive to the streaming site and stuff like that, where I think is quite surprising. You would think Netflix would have more content and things like that, but no, not in this case. What's quite interesting, but it shows that don't judge a book by its cover. Thank you. In the next discussion, we'll be talking about the exclusives of each streaming sites of Netflix and Amazon, and the exclusives on Netflix of course, Stranger Things, Ozarks, The Sinner, Lucifer, and on Amazon, The Boys, Homecoming, Jack Ryan, are all quite interesting shows that I would highly recommend you watch. I would say the interesting thing about how the streaming sites do their exclusives is that Netflix has a lot more exclusives, but they do quantity over quality, while I think Amazon don't have as much, but they do quality, and all their Amazon shows are quite different and interesting, and it's interesting to see the differences between the exclusives. I'll talk about a couple of them. With The Boys is about a superhero group, and it's quite interesting seeing how, if superheroes were real, to see what would the world be like if superheroes were real and stuff like that. And Lucifer's quite a good show as well, to talk about the devil and things like that. Quite an interesting show. Thank you for. The next discussion is talking about the comparison in IMDB and the critical acclaim by critics. What I've chosen on Netflix and Amazon, and what I've chosen on Netflix is Lucifer, Atypical, The Sinner, Seven Deadly Sins, Ozark, and on Amazon Prime, the shows that I've rated are The Boys, Goliath, Homecoming, Jack Ryan, Absentia, and The next discussion is talking about what critics thought about both streaming websites exclusives, and surprisingly, Amazon won. They thought, each critic thought, a 7 out of 10, and Netflix was a 6.9. So personally, I don't disagree or agree. I think Amazon shows are pretty interesting and pretty good, but I also think Netflix have pretty good shows. Sometimes I just watch the show on the streaming website, and I personally like the show more than the streaming website, but I like them both for individual reasons. I think they're both great. But not surprising, Amazon won. I think they have really good exclusives. And next discussion, I'll be talking about the layout of the app, and I would have to say I think Netflix is a lot easier to use compared to Amazon. I think Amazon's pretty, I don't know, not that interesting, but Netflix is quite good to use. And yeah, I don't know, I find it strange that Amazon didn't, at least put in a my list. Like, when you put something in the list, it just goes into the list that you're currently watching, so that's kind of strange. I think Netflix is a lot better to use and find what you want and things like that. But yeah, with Amazon though, they do have a cool X-ray vision that actually tells you trivia and tells you what characters and what actors are in the scene and things like that, what I think is pretty cool. When I use the other streaming sites, I kind of go, I wish this was in all the streaming sites. So I think that's probably the thing that I really like about Amazon. I think it's really unique and pretty cool. But yeah, thank you. The next discussion is about the streaming websites, Netflix and Amazon, with how they stream with TVs and things like that. I think Netflix started the whole pressing buttons on the TV and streaming from TV and the phone and things like that, but Amazon seems to be catching up. So I think Netflix started it, but I think Apple TV and all the other streaming websites are kind of following straight behind. So it's definitely interesting, but I think Netflix is still leading, but it's not by much. In this final discussion is the final verdict, Netflix and Amazon, and I think they both have great shows and things like that. I think because I started Amazon later and watched all the shows on Netflix, it's harder to find a good show on Netflix. But on Amazon, I think there's a lot more new shows. But I think they're both excellent streaming sites. But with Lord of the Rings coming on Amazon, that's going to be really hard to not like Amazon more. But I think I like them for different reasons. But I'm going to let everyone else, and we all have different opinions. And I think it comes down more to what shows on which than which one is actually the better streaming site, because The Boys at the moment I think is the best Amazon show, and Netflix I think has not as a good show than The Boys, but I think they have a lot of strong exclusives, especially Stranger Things. But I think I definitely can't choose which one I prefer. I think I prefer the shows. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.